Hey guys, this is Nod Lamers of Invoked 101, and today I'm doing a deck profile of a deck that you guys saw recently in the 3 parts of Dueling My Girlfriend. This is the Dark Magician deck, so this is slightly edited from the one that I was playing. But it also shares a lot of similarities with my old one from back in April. So, but we're just gonna talk about it again real quick because this deck is pretty simple. So, gonna zoom it on in and we're going to talk about some of the monsters. So the first thing we play is 3 Dark Magician. It wouldn't be a Dark Magician deck without 3 of this guy. So these are the 3 acceptable artworks for Dark Magician. He's a 2500, 2100 monster, Dark Spellcaster, and yeah, these are the only 3 acceptable artworks in my opinion. If you play other ones, then that's unacceptable. But yeah, I like those artworks. Those are the ones I picked. You can play 3 the same. You can play none of the same. They don't have different effects. They don't do anything. So he's just there because the deck revolves around him. So next up we have 3 Apprentice Illusion Magician. Actually, you know what? I hate when people take the cards off screen. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put these guys right here, and we're just going to stack up the cards because I feel that's better. Because I hate when people take the cards off in the deck profile. So this is Apprentice Illusion Magician. What you can do to summon, she has a summoning effect where you discard a card to special summon her to the board, and whenever she's special summoned, I think it's when she's normal or special, but usually you're special summoning her, she gets to search Dark Magician. Very nice. She's also can be discarded from the hand or attributed from the field to give a Dark Magician, a Dark Spellcaster, a 2000 bonus attack. So that's very nice. Next up, we have 3 Magician's Rods. Hit me up if you have spare super rares, because I hate common ones. So what he does is whenever he's normal summoned, you get to search a spell or trap card that specifically lists Dark Magician from your deck to your hand. And then I know he has another effect, which is like if he's in your graveyard and you activate a spell card or effect while it's in your graveyard, you can tribute a spellcaster and add it back to your hand. So yeah, so basically if you flip up Eternal Soul or you activate Eternal Soul's effect and he's in your grave, you can tribute the Dark Magician and add this guy back to your hand. So that's kind of neat. Lastly is a card that I continue to play 2 of, and that is 2 Magician of Dark Illusions. This guy's really cool. He's Dark Magician on the field, and then whenever you activate a trap or spell card on your opponent's turn, you get to special summon this guy from your hand. And then he has a effect where if you activate a spell or trap or effect, I think it is, and you don't control Dark Magician, you can special summon one out of the graveyard. Lastly, for the Dark Spellcasters is 1 Cosmo Brain. So if you remember this, I'm also playing this on my Red Eyes deck profile. What you do is you discard Dark Magician to special summon it. It's a Dark Spellcaster. It goes up to like 2700. It's a okay card. And that's it for the Dark Spellcasters. So we only play Dark and Water Spellcasters in this deck. So let's talk about the Water Spellcasters. We have a decision that I continue to stick by because I think that she is arguably like the best one of the batch, and that is 3 Choco Magician Girl. Chocolate Magician Girl lets you discard a spellcaster to draw a card, and then if she is targeted for an attack, you can target a spellcaster in your graveyard, special summon it, have the monster's attack, and then make it attack the monster you special summoned. So she's just really good to get back out that Dark Magician if you really need to. And then 1 Spellbook Magician of Prophecy, because we are playing the, what's it called? The Spellbook Engine, that's what it's called. I don't know why I blanked on it so hard. So yeah, that's it for them. Let's talk about spells, because spells are very important for Dark Magician. So we're playing 3 Magician Dark Magical Circle. What this does is basically is a pot of duality. Whenever it's activated, you get a look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You don't have to reveal them. And then you add either 1 Dark Magician or 1 spell or trap that specifically lists Dark Magician among its text. So a very nice card. Then whenever Dark Magician is special summoned, you get to target a card your opponent controls and banish it. So, you know, that's pretty nice. And then we have 2 Dark Magic Inheritance. What this does is this lets you banish 2 spell cards from your graveyard to search a spell or trap that specifically lists Dark Magician. I believe this came out of the Structure deck originally. And then so this has a really cool interaction with the spellbooks. So if you activate both spellbooks, secrets, and knowledge, you can banish them off this and get like circle. So it's just like you plus off of them like constantly. Then for our 1 of Dark Magician cards, I'm playing 1 Dark Magic Attack and 1 Illusion Magic. With all the stuff with all the ways to grab Dark Magician in the deck, you only really need 1 of these, and this is searchable, and it's a Harpy's Feather Duster, so, you know, that's nice. As for other things that are kind of Dark Magician-y, or like basically mean Dark Magician, we have Eye of Timaeus. We can't search this with Rod, but it is a card that is extremely useful for the deck. I would play more, but I can't find any more ultra rares, so, and I refuse to play common Timaeuses. So that's just me. Then I'm running 2 Dark Magic Veil. What this does is this lets you pay 1,000 life points, and then it's a monster reborn for any dark spellcaster, or you can summon one out of your hand. So a very nice card, you know, summon a Dark Magician from grave, summon one from hand. Just a super, super dope card for that. And I might tag out one of them to be a monster reborn, but you know, it doesn't really matter. So then, for our other spell cards, we have 2, like I said, we have 2 Spellbook of Secrets and 2 Knowledge. These are just like a nice little draw engine for the deck. Super nice, super nice, super nice. And then for our non-spellcaster stuff, or I guess for our other spell cards, we have 3 Pot of Duality to work as like extra copies of Dark Magic Circle. So while it does stop us from searching, you know, or stop us from special summoning, you don't really need to with all the stuff in the deck that actually special summons on your opponent's turn. And to round out our spell count, we have 2 Magical Dimension. I like this card a lot. You can hate on this card, I like this card a lot. Being able to trivia a spellcaster to summon one out of the hand, it's kind of like it's like a mini magical Magician's Navigation, so I like it. I think it's a lot. I think it's a good card. So that's it for our for our spell cards. So I'm just gonna pack these up, which is easier said than done because there's a lot of these. Oh my god. But luckily they're all nice and laid out. So now let's talk about traps. There's actually not that many in the deck because Dark Magician really only has like so many. So I'm playing 3 Eternal Soul. If you play Dark Magician, you have to play 3 Eternal Soul. It's kind of like a mandatory requirement because this card is insane. While it's face up, Dark Magician in your monster zones, Dark Magician you control are unaffected by other card effects. Then once per turn, you get a special summon of Dark Magician from your graveyard or from your hand. And then it has another effect, which is you can either add Dark Magic Attack or Thousand Knives from your deck to your hand. So just a super useful card. And then we have 2 Magician's Navigation. I feel if you play 3 of these, it's just a bit cloggy. It becomes too much because you're not always going to have Dark Magician in your hand. So this was one of those cards I looked at and was like, oh, you could probably cut this to 1. And then I was like, no, you don't want to cut it to 1 because what it does is it special summons Dark Magician from hand as well as another level 7 or lower dark spellcaster from the deck. And then whenever it's in the graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it to negate a spell or trap card. So it's a super useful card. Just insanely strong. It's such utility, so having 2 is pretty nice. But that is it for the main. No more main deck cards, that's it for it. So let's talk about the extra deck. There's actually a card in my extra deck that I can't summon, so I'm gonna toss it away. So for our fusions, these are the only 2 you should really be playing. Dark Magician the Dragon Knight to protect back row. It's also Dark Magician on field and in grave, so you can revive it with Eternal Soul. And Dark Paladin. These are really, these are realistically the only 2 fusion monsters you should really be playing in this deck. So yeah, just these guys. I don't think any other one is really needed. For me, I'm only summoning one of them a game, so it doesn't really matter which one I pick, but usually I'm going into Dragon Knight unless I have to make Paladin, so. There we go. For our Xyz monsters, I'm running 2 Ebon Illusion Magician. He's probably the best Xyz monster in the for this deck. So he takes 2 level 7 spellcasters, or you can slap him on top of a rank 6 spellcaster. And then you can detach a material from him to special summon a vanilla dark spellcaster from your deck. And whenever a vanilla dark spellcaster attacks, you get to banish a card. So he works kind of like a second not Eternal Soul, a second Dark Magic Circle in a way. And then we have the Superior Dark Magician, which is Big Eye. You get to steal a card, but this card can't attack. It is a dark spellcaster, so it does work with the Apprentice Illusion Magician Girl's effect to buff a card. And then for the last No, it's not the last rank 7. I thought it was. We have Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon to burn and also just kind of have keep a body on board. And then for our last rank 7, which isn't really for anything else, this is Gaia. This is Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger. Realistically, this is the slap on top of the smaller Xyz monster in the extra deck, which is Norito. So Norito, the Moral Leader, it negates stuff. If you can get 2 Apprentice Illusion Magicians on board, summon this and then make this on top of it, after getting maybe a little bit of value out of Norito, because 2,700 is nothing to laugh at on a rank 6. Like that's pretty nutty. And then just in case this does come up every now and then, we have Perform Age Trapeze Magician for our rank 4. So yeah, I like these ones. A lot of them are like actual like spellcaster exclusive stuff, except for these. These are like the generic. These are pretty generic, but this really realistically is only going. I used to have Draco Sack in the extra, but I got rid of it. So there we go, that's it for the Xyz. Let's talk about links. I am playing Decode Talker, I'm playing Underclock Taker, I'm playing Proxy Dragon and Space Insulator. If you don't know what these guys do, I understand, Space Insulator's kind of weird. But basically these are all just like kind of generic links. If you want to, you can put in Wee Witch Apprentice. She's actually really good in this deck because she's the generic Dark Link monster and is a spellcaster, so she has quite a bit of synergy with this deck. And buffing your vanilla Dark Magicians up to 3K is pretty nice. So she actually does have quite a bit of synergy with this deck, so I would consider running. Let me see if she's actually in here. I don't have her in the deck box. So, but yeah, if you want to play Wee Witch, go for it. I would take out Decode Talker. I don't know. Maybe Proxy. Proxy isn't as good as like the rest of them. But yeah, so that is it for this deck. That is everything this deck has to offer. At least my variant. I like this deck. We're gonna zoom out just a bit. I like this deck a lot. I love Dark Magician. I think it's such a fun deck. And like I've said multiple times that my only problem with Dark Magician is that it is Dark Magician. If it was another guy, like if it was another random spellcaster or just like any other spellcaster, I would be so all about this deck. But I get it, it's Dark Magician and it's like kind of like a culty deck, but it is really fun. So tell me what you guys think about this deck in the comments below. And if you want to see more deck profiles like this or more deck profiles of the decks that you want to see, consider backing me on Patreon. Just that $1 a month goes to creating even more Yu-Gi-Oh content and making it even more consistent than we already are. And then if you want to keep up with everything that's going on the channel, consider subscribing using that button down below. So thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in the next video.